The best way you can support me is with a simple subscribe. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this. All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, as you just heard me talking about how unhappy LeBron James is with the Cleveland Cavaliers, you're now about to hear me talk for 2 to 3 minutes about how unhappy Carmelo Anthony is with the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks introduced Steve Mills and their organization as president last few hours, last day or so. And he's saying, look, if we want to keep Carmelo, we can keep Carmelo Anthony. The bottom line is, if the Knicks don't want to trade Carmelo Anthony, they don't have to trade Carmelo Anthony. The thing about that is, do you really want it? What, Carmelo's like, what, 33 right now? Do you really want a superstar to be unhappy in your organization at his age? And he's not helping win you guys a championship. Let's be honest about it. If Carmelo ain't won you a championship yet, if he ain't got you to the playoffs in a while, what are we really doing here? He's not the future. Build around Kristaps Porzingis. Carmelo's not your guy. If he couldn't get you to the playoffs last year in the Eastern Conference, Carmelo's not your guy. And I'm okay with that. I don't think Carmelo could be the number 1 or number 2 guy on a championship team. That's just me. So the Knicks are like, look, we might want to keep Carmelo around. And kudos to them, because at the least Carmelo Anthony will sell tickets. But I think the Knicks should trade Carmelo Anthony or buy him out. A trade is preferable. You trade Carmelo Anthony. You get something for him in return. Maybe with Houston. Maybe you get a Ryan Anderson. Even though it doesn't make a lot of sense with Kristaps Porzingis. You maybe go get a Trevor Ariza. You maybe go try to get a third team involved to get some picks. You do something for Melo, because his value is at an all-time low right now. You find a way to get rid of Carmelo Anthony. All right? And reportedly, Melo still wants out of New York. Phil Jackson ruffled some feathers. That can't be fixed, even with new management. Melo has given up on management, reportedly. All right? So for those who don't know who Carmelo Anthony is, he wanted to stay in New York for the remainder of not only his contract, but his career. He's comfortable. He has some hometown ties to New York. Melo's comfortable, right? Phil Jackson ruined every damn thing. He tried to ruin that relationship as quickly as possible, because Phil Jackson didn't believe Melo could play in the triangle offense. Even though I don't believe the triangle offense can win you a championship in this era. That's just me. But Phil wanted Melo out of New York, and he was doing everything he could to get rid of Carmelo Anthony. Well, the thing is, Phil got fired, and now Dolan hired somebody new, and the new guy wants Melo to stay, kinda, if he can work it out. But Melo's still pissed about how Phil Jackson fucked shit up, right? That's the situation. That's where we're at with it. So the likelihood of Carmelo Anthony staying is slim and none. Again, the New York Knicks control that destiny. They don't have to buy him out if they don't want to. They don't have to trade him if they don't want to. And Melo has to play in that New York Knicks uniform, right? Now, I think it's in their best interest to trade Carmelo Anthony. I don't think he's helping them get to their next step. The only thing he's doing is selling tickets, right? And if that's enough for you, keep him. But if you want to build and really think about looking towards the future, you trade Melo. You get picked with a third team in the trade, and you let Melo go to Houston or Cleveland, the only 2 teams that he said he waived his full no trade clause to. So here's the thing. Melo said he'll go to Cleveland or Houston. What you do is you get a third team involved, and you allow them to give up picks, and they get maybe a player from Houston or something like that, right? So maybe the Knicks don't want Ryan Anderson or Trevor Ariza, but maybe a third team wants him. So you let them get Ryan Anderson or Trevor Ariza or whoever else is left on the Houston Rockets after the Chris Paul trade, and they give up their first-round pick, and it goes straight to New York. New York doesn't want Ryan Anderson. They don't want Kevin Love. They want picks. So that's how you work that thing out. And Houston is still aggressively going after Carmelo Anthony. We'll see what happens there. I think they end up with Carmelo, but this thing could go a multitude of ways. I'm just giving you the update. Carmelo Anthony wants out of New York. He's not happy. He's not trying to hear what the new president is saying. Not because he thinks the president is a bad guy, but because Phil Jackson preached this same gospel to him, and then lied to him and then wanted him out of New York a year or two later, right? Melo still wants out of New York. He's not trying to hear this. Team first concept, he wants out now. So y'all finally have pissed Melo off to the point where he wants out behind the scenes. But I think if Melo really wants out, what's it going to take is him to come out in the open and say, I want out. Kind of remember how Kobe said he wanted out of Los Angeles on the Stephen A. Smith show? He was like, look, I'd rather play on Pluto than play in Los Angeles. I think Melo needs to do an interview where he says, I don't want to play in New York. I know that's going to hurt him because he's got New York ties, but I think that'll be the best thing for his situation. Talk to me, comment box below. Thank y'all for the time, love, support, salute. Melo wants out. Talk to me. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on itsmrtaliaferro.com, shawty.